what will it mean for the way that we live on this planet? And for that, I think we need a whole different set of inquiries, a whole different set of perspectives on what climate change promises for all of us. What will it mean for our politics to have an intuition of resource scarcity that dominates every transaction we make? Every time we consider self-interest versus public interest, it's conducted in a system that we think is shrinking by the forces of climate change. What will it mean for our geopolitics, for some nations of the world, like India and Bangladesh, to have their entire hope of economic growth entirely wiped out by the force of climate change, while countries like England, which was once the colonial overlord of those countries, benefiting still to this day relatively from the industrialization that they went through several centuries before? What will it mean for our trade agreements and international cooperation to know that there are some nations of the world that are producing oil? Some leaders like Jair Bolsonaro in Brazil, who is promising to deforest the Amazon and completely and cut into one of the world's best resources for dealing with carbon. How will it change our relationship to technology? If we think of the Industrial Revolution as something that technology has brought us, and therefore climate change as a result. If we're turning to machines to suck carbon out of the atmosphere as sort of like a theological solution to the problem. If we're looking at our phones to distract ourselves from the suffering that is going on in the real world. How will it change our relationship to capitalism? What will we expect from economic growth? What levels of growth can we expect? When we think of the future, do we think of it as a time of increased prosperity and cooperation? Or do we think of it as a time of increased resource scarcity and fantasize about the past instead? These are all really profound questions that, to me, make up a whole new and very important area of inquiry, which is the humanities of climate change.